Prince predicted how he would die, yet no one listened. What really happened in his final days, and who might be behind it, will shock you. Stay tuned, because the truth is messier than you think. Erykah Badu is finally pulling back the curtain on the controversy surrounding Prince's death, and the story she's telling is wild. Remember the official narrative about an accidental overdose? Erykah isn't buying it. According to her, Prince sensed danger long before it happened and went to great lengths to stay safe, even avoiding elevators, ironically the very place where he ultimately died, contrary to his own precautions shared with L.A. Reid. Rumors swirl that some of the biggest names in the music industry, including Jay-Z and his management team, Roc Nation, may have been entangled in a plot to seize Prince's fortune, especially after it emerged that he hadn't left a will for his $400 million estate. Initially, his death was attributed to a fentanyl overdose, but new revelations suggest the story is far more complex. Prince's family claims that while he did use painkillers, he never knowingly consumed fentanyl. Someone on his team allegedly began slipping the powerful opioid into his prescriptions without his awareness. By the time Prince realized what was happening, he was already dependent. Addiction psychiatrist Scott Bienfeld explains, Prince wasn't aware he was being switched onto something else. Many of my patients start on legitimate pain meds, and someone quietly adds fentanyl on top. It's a common trap. You've taken oxycodone. Now here's this. Musicians rarely know it's laced. Further investigation uncovered that Dr. Michael T. Schulenberg reportedly prescribed a painkiller for Prince under another person's name just a week before his death, violating the Controlled Substances Act. Yet, the penalty he faced was a mere $30,000 civil fine, with no arrest. Adding another layer of danger, a significant portion of the fentanyl Prince received turned out to be counterfeit. Despite the police discovering this, no arrests were made, and the source of the fake pills remains unknown. Minnesota State Attorney Mark Mertz explained that authorities lacked sufficient evidence to press charges. Prince himself believed he was taking Vicodin, but no verified record exists of how the counterfeit pills entered his supply. Essentially, the investigation hit a dead end. There isn't enough concrete evidence to charge anyone. It's a troubling conclusion, when the purpose of a probe should be to uncover the truth. Complicating matters, Prince's own family didn't push aggressively for justice. His sister, Tyka Nelson, famously stated, "You could charge 20,000 people, toss them all in jail. It wouldn't bring my brother back. It doesn't matter if it's a knife, a gun, or fentanyl. If it doesn't restore him, it's irrelevant." Hold up. People were starting to question Prince's own family. Why? Because he didn't have a will. That's right. A man with hundreds of millions of dollars and no legal roadmap for his estate. Combine that with the eerie circumstances of his death, and eyebrows naturally started to rise. On April 21, 2016, Prince was found unresponsive inside an elevator. Medical staff attempted CPR, but he was pronounced dead shortly after. This seemingly small detail carried an unsettling weight. Music executive L.A. Reid shared on CBS that he had once spoken privately with Prince about elevators. Prince described them as the devil, saying, "It scared me." Reading that Prince had died in a space he had explicitly feared sent chills through anyone who knew him. Many speculate that certain powerful music executives may have targeted him, not just for his life, but symbolically, choosing the elevator as a cruel nod to his fears, perhaps as punishment for refusing to relinquish his music catalog. The struggle over his catalog was intense. Before his death, everyone in the industry wanted a slice of his music. Jay-Z was no exception. When he launched the streaming service Tidal, he pitched it as a fair platform for artists. Prince, fresh off his battles with Warner Brothers over his masters, initially bought into it, releasing hit and Run Phase 1 exclusively on Tidal for 90 days. But he soon realized Tidal was like every other big player in the industry. Jay-Z eventually sold it, reportedly walking away with $149 million. Prince's final social media post, dated April 16, 2016, read cryptically, "Just when you thought you were safe." 6 days later, he was gone. Following his death, Jay-Z reportedly made a $40 million offer for Prince's unreleased music, putting it on Tidal without the family's consent. Naturally, the estate pushed back and filed a lawsuit to protect Prince's legacy from further exploitation. Throughout the chaos surrounding Prince's death, Erykah remained unusually quiet. She knew him intimately behind the scenes, yet she didn't publicly comment on the swirling rumors and accusations. Instead, she shared a simple Instagram post, a photo of the two of them, captioned, "That time Prince was your rhythm guitarist." The picture came with a flood of memories: Prince playing for 4 hours straight at her South Dallas club, late-night recording sessions at Paisley Park, heated debates over religion, and countless pool games. There were moments of humor too. Prince refusing to sign Yo Mama's Dirty Mind album cover, his little swear jar that she'd slyly drop a $20 bill into, and even a Jehovah's Witness session with Larry Graham. And who could forget the third-grade talent show, where she sang "I Want to Be Your Lover" in a swimsuit top before teachers cut her short. Each memory painted a vivid, human picture of the legendary artist. But don't mistake the warm nostalgia for denial. Word on the street is that Erykah suspects Prince's death was no accident. She's never publicly accused anyone, simply because there's no hard evidence. But now, as inconsistencies in the official story continue to emerge, it seems only a matter of time before she and others feel safe enough to speak more openly. Meanwhile, opinions are flooding in online. Some people insist Prince was never on illicit substances, pointing out his fitness and composure during interviews. Others highlight that he thought he was taking hydrocodone from legitimate bottles, suggesting someone deliberately tampered with them. One commenter summed it up: "Watson, whoever gave him those bottles killed him. Sad no one could be charged." Beyond the swirl of mystery and ongoing speculation, Prince's legacy as a relentless fighter for artists' rights remains one of the most enduring aspects of his life and career. While the headlines often focus on the sensational elements of his death, the inconsistencies, the alleged industry conspiracies, and the tragic circumstances surrounding his final days, there is a deeper narrative that is sometimes overlooked. The story of an artist who challenged the music industry on his own terms and sought to create a space where musicians could retain control over their creative output. Prince's stand against the corporate machinery of major record labels, his bold moves to reclaim ownership of his masters, and his insistence on fair treatment for artists were revolutionary at the time. Many contemporaries dismissed or even mocked his efforts, labeling him eccentric or overly confrontational. But in hindsight, his actions were prescient, laying the groundwork for conversations that continue to shape how musicians think about their rights, royalties, and control over their work. Consider, for instance, Prince's historic struggle with Warner Brothers in the 1990s. At a time when artists had very little leverage, Prince famously fought to regain ownership of his masters and even changed his name to an unpronounceable symbol as a form of protest. While some criticized the move as a publicity stunt, it highlighted a systemic problem. Artists were routinely exploited by labels that reaped the financial benefits of their creativity while leaving the creators with little power. Prince's fight was not just personal, it was a message to the industry, a challenge to the status quo. He wanted musicians to understand that their work had intrinsic value beyond the numbers on a paycheck and that protecting their creative autonomy was as important as producing the music itself. Fast forward to the streaming era, and the lessons Prince imparted are more relevant than ever. With the rise of services like Spotify, Apple Music, and Tidal, artists continue to grapple with questions of fair compensation, ownership, and control. Prince's skepticism of streaming platforms, including his complicated relationship with Tidal, was rooted in his desire to ensure artists were treated equitably. He refused to make his catalog widely available on platforms he deemed unfair, and his short-lived experiment with exclusive releases was a calculated effort to assert authority over his own work. The fact that industry giants, such as Jay-Z, later sought to profit from Prince's catalog after his death without proper authorization from his estate underscores the very issues he spent his life challenging. His advocacy was not just a matter of personal pride, it was a blueprint for modern artists navigating the often murky waters of intellectual property, digital distribution, and corporate control. Yet, in the midst of these discussions about music rights and industry reform, the shadow of Prince's untimely death looms large. Erykah Badu's recent revelations and the growing public interest in inconsistencies surrounding his passing highlight the ongoing tension between the personal and the professional in his life. Erykah's silence in the years following his death was not indifference but caution. She knew the risks of speaking out, particularly without concrete evidence. Now, with investigations, rumors, and whistleblower accounts beginning to shed light on discrepancies in the official narrative, she may feel empowered to share her perspective. Her stories humanize Prince, reminding the public that behind the legend was a person with vulnerabilities, fears, and a circle of friends and collaborators who witnessed his brilliance firsthand. At the same time, the conversation about Prince's medications and the potential tampering with his prescriptions raises profound ethical and societal questions. If Prince truly believed he was taking standard painkillers, while someone covertly introduced more dangerous substances, it speaks to the vulnerability even the most disciplined individuals can face in the healthcare system, especially when surrounded by opportunists. It also raises questions about accountability, oversight, and the mechanisms, or lack thereof, that allow such circumstances to occur. Public fascination with these details is understandable, but there is a more important discussion to be had about systemic failures, both within the music industry and the medical establishment, that may have contributed to his tragic end. Moreover, the reactions of fans and the public reveal a deeper engagement with the concept of justice and truth in celebrity deaths. Comments and discussions online show that people are not merely curious about the who or the how of Prince's death. They are grappling with larger questions of fairness, power, and exploitation. Fans and commentators alike debate whether Prince was aware of what he was taking, whether his family and friends were complicit or negligent, and whether the system itself, both legally and culturally, failed him. These debates are a testament to Prince's lasting impact. His life, music, and legacy inspire ongoing reflection on issues far beyond the stage. Equally important is the recognition of Prince's influence on fellow artists. His advocacy, his insistence on autonomy, and his refusal to conform to industry norms inspired generations of musicians to think critically about their careers. Artists today, from independent musicians to those navigating multi-million-dollar contracts, often cite Prince as a figure who taught them to value their creative property and assert control over their work. Even in the context of controversy and tragedy, Prince's principles continue to ripple outward, shaping decisions about contracts, ownership, and artistic freedom. In this light, Erykah Badu's decision to share her memories and observations takes on additional significance. She provides a nuanced perspective, blending personal anecdotes with cautious commentary on the larger forces at play. While she stops short of making definitive claims, her testimony encourages the public to question the official story and consider the complexities of Prince's life and death. It reminds us that beyond the headlines and rumors, there are people who knew him intimately, who understood his fears and his passions, and whose insights can enrich our understanding of who he was. Ultimately, reflecting on Erykah's revelations and the broader narrative surrounding Prince's death invites a broader conversation. How do we honor the legacies of extraordinary artists while also seeking truth and accountability? How do we balance our fascination with mystery and intrigue against the need for empathy and understanding? And perhaps most importantly, how do we ensure that the battles Prince fought in life for artistic control, fair compensation, and respect continue to resonate and inspire change in a world that still struggles with these very issues? Prince's story is not simply one of tragedy. It is a call to action, a lesson in vigilance, and a reminder of the power of one individual to challenge an entire system. His life and work compel us to question, to investigate, and to advocate, not only for those who are gone but for those who follow in their footsteps. Erykah's voice, joining the chorus of fans, friends, and insiders, adds a critical layer to this ongoing conversation. It is an invitation to remember Prince not only for his music, but also for the battles he waged, the principles he upheld, and the courage he demonstrated in fighting for what he believed was right. So, what do you make of Erykah stepping forward now, after years of silence? Do you believe Prince truly had no idea what was being slipped into his medications? Or do you think there may have been awareness on some level? How do we reconcile the mystery surrounding his death with the undeniable impact of his life and legacy? Share your thoughts, reflections, and questions below, because conversations like these keep his spirit alive, not only in memory but in action. Prince's influence, both musically and culturally, continues to resonate, reminding us that while artists may leave the stage, their fight for fairness, freedom, and respect is timeless, and we are all invited to participate in that ongoing story.